Following the critical success of Ninja Gaiden and its sequel on the NES, Ninja Gaiden 3, The Ancient Ship of Doom released in 1991 with high expectations. Developed once again by Tecmo, this third entry aimed to build on the intense, fast-paced action platforming formula that had defined the series. However, the absence of original series creator Hideo Yoshizawa is noticeable, as the game introduces several shifts, both narratively and mechanically, that left fans divided. While Ninja Gaiden 3 retains the cinematic flair the franchise is known for, the gameplay balance and increased difficulty mark it as a controversial follow-up. The game begins with a shocking premise. Ryu Hayabusa is accused of murdering CIA agent and his girlfriend Irene Liu. Determined to clear his name, he investigates a lab called N3SH, overrun by monstrous bionoids. There he meets Clancy, who directs him to Castle Rock Fortress. Along the way, Ryu confronts CIA Director Foster and is ambushed by a powerful doppelganger. As the story unfolds, Ryu learns of a biohazard plan involving superhuman bionoids created using energy from a trans-dimensional rift, formed after Ryu's battle with the demon in Ninja Gaiden. Foster and Clancy's experimentation is at the core of the conspiracy. Eventually, Irene resurfaces, revealing she survived and has rallied US forces against Foster. After a climactic battle with his now mutated clone and Foster's defeat, Clancy seizes control and escapes into the rift. Ryu follows him into a surreal dimension, discovering that the ruins are in fact a massive super-dimensional warship. Clancy intends to use it to reshape the world by eradicating humanity. In a final battle, Ryu defeats Clancy, destroys the warship and returns safely to reunite with Irene. While the narrative maintains the cinematic presentation the series is known for, its plot is more convoluted and less emotionally resonant than the first two games. The lengthy cutscenes are still impressive, but the story lacks the tight pacing of its predecessors. The soundtrack also takes a step back, functional but not as memorable or iconic as the earlier titles. Ninja Gaiden 3 largely sticks to the franchise's core formula, fast-paced, side-scrolling action across 7 intense stages filled with relentless enemies and punishing platforming. However, this installment introduces several gameplay tweaks that slightly alter the feel of combat and traversal. Ryu's falling speed has been reduced and knockback when taking damage is less severe, making certain platforming sections more manageable. His jump arc is wider, though the trade-off is stiffer mid-air control. One of the more useful additions is the ability to grab and shimmy across horizontal surfaces like pipes and vines, adding a welcome layer of vertical mobility. Power-ups have also been reworked. Instead of blindly breaking item orbs, players can now see the contents before collecting them, allowing for more informed decision making. A new upgrade, the sword extension, increases Ryu's attack range for the duration of a level, or until death, and is especially satisfying in tight encounters. Classic Ninpo techniques like the art of the fire wheel return and remain just as devastating, capable of tearing through enemies and bosses with ease. That said, the removal of the ninja clones from Ninja Gaiden 2 is a noticeable loss. Those clones added depth to combat strategy and made the action feel more dynamic and manageable. Their absence here is felt, especially in boss fights and crowded enemy sections. The most polarizing aspect of Ninja Gaiden 3 is its difficulty, especially in the North American release. This version ramped up the challenge significantly. Enemies deal more damage, additional foes populate the stages, continues are limited, and the password system from the Japanese version was removed entirely. While enemies no longer respawn off-screen, which is a welcome change, precision and patience are still essential. Later stages, particularly Chapter 7, offer almost no room for error. Dying during the final multi-phase boss fight sends you all the way back to the beginning of Stage 7-3A, which can be especially punishing. Despite the difficulty spikes, boss fights in this entry are arguably better designed than in previous games. Most bosses now have clearer, learnable patterns, making them more manageable and rewarding to defeat without relying solely on spamming Ninpo. This shift makes for more strategic and engaging encounters compared to the often chaotic boss fights in the earlier titles. In conclusion, Ninja Gaiden 3 The Ancient Ship of Doom is a technically solid but uneven entry in the series. It retains the series' core strengths with cinematic storytelling, tight controls and fast-paced action, but stumbles with its excessive difficulty and less cohesive plot. Hardcore fans seeking a brutal challenge may appreciate it, but for many the experience is more frustrating than fun. Personally, Ninja Gaiden 2 remains my favorite entry in the trilogy. It strikes the perfect balance between difficulty and enjoyment, offering a tough but fair experience. By contrast, both the first and third games often feel overwhelming, demanding precision to the point where frustration can outweigh the fun.